Coming up on this edition of Gridiron Sports Talk, we talk about baseball, but we talk about William Dummy Hoy. Yes, that was his name back then. The most prominent person in baseball, and also he was prominently deaf. All that and much more, how this man in baseball made baseball. All that and much more when Gridiron Sports Talk starts right now. Welcome to this edition of Gridiron Sports Talk, the one and only program that's on the gridiron, and we talk about sports despite people's disabilities, and we focus on abilities in sports. On this edition of Gridiron Sports Talk, we talk about William Dummy Hoy. Back then, back in the 1800s, people were called dummy, infirm, feeble, and many other names, which they do not use today. So let's begin. William Ellsworth Dummy Hoy, H-O-Y, May 23rd, 1862, and he passed away December 15th, 1961, was an American baseball center fielder for the Major League Baseball club, who played on several teams from 1888 to 1902, most notably the Cincinnati Reds and two Washington, D.C. franchises. He batted left and he threw right. His debut for Major League Baseball was April 20th, 1888 for the Washington Nationals, and his last Major League Baseball appearance was July 17th, 1902 for the Cincinnati Reds. His statistics, and I'll show a picture of him throughout the show. His statistics, his batting average was .288. He hit 2,048 hits. Runs batted in 725. Stolen bases 596. And the teams he played for, Washington Nationals 1888 to 1889. The Buffalo Bisons, which does not exist anymore. This is baseball. 1890, the St. Louis Browns, 1891, the Washington Senators, 1892 to 1893, the Cincinnati Reds, 1894 to 1897, the Louisville Colonels, which doesn't exist anymore in Major League Baseball, 1894 to 1897, the Louisville Colonels, 1898 to 1899, the Chicago White Sox, 1901, and the Cincinnati Reds, 1902. National League stolen bases leader, 1888, and he's in William Dummy Hoy is in the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. Hoy is the most accomplished deaf player in Major League Baseball history, and is credited by some sources and causing the establishment of signals for safe and out calls. William Dummy Hoy led the Major League Baseball record in games in center field, 1,726 from 1889 to 1902, and he set records for career putouts, 3,958, and total chances, 4,625 as an outfielder, and retired among the leaders in outfield games, placed second, 1,795, and assists seventh place, 273, and double plays third. He placed third, 72. He He was an excellent base runner and scored 100 runs 9 times and finished among the top. Uh, hold on. Finished amongst the top base stealers, and he was the only of 29 players to have played in 4 different major league teams. His 1006 career in walks put him second in MLB history behind Billy Hamilton when he retired and ended his career ranking 8th in career games played, 1,796. William Dummy Hoy was born in a small town in Houcktown, Ohio, Houck town, Ohio. Hoy became deaf after meningitis at age 3. He graduated from the Ohio State School for the Deaf in Columbus as class valedictorian. He opened a shoe repair store in his hometown and played baseball on weekends, earning a professional contract in 1886 with the an Oshkosh, Wisconsin team, and it was managed by Frank Seeley in 1887, and in 1888 with the Washington Nationals and the National League. Hoy became the 3rd deaf player in Major League after pitcher Ed Dundon and pitcher Tom Lynch in his rookie year, and had led the league in stolen bases. Although the statistic was defined differently prior to 1898, and he also finished second with 69 walks while batting .274 at height 5'4" and batting left-handed. He was able to gain numerous walks with a small strike zone, leading twice and compiling a .386 career on base percentage. Hoy's speed, by the way, his name again is Hoy. Hoy's speed had great advantage in the outfield, and he was able to play shallow as a result. On June 19th, 1889, he set an MLB record, which has since been tied twice, by throwing out 3 runners at home plate at one game, with catcher Connie Mack recording the outs. And in 1890, he and Mack joined the Buffalo Bisons of the Players League. In 1891, Hoy returned to the Double-A with the St. Louis Browns under the manager Charles Cominsky. Charles Cominsky, for the league's final season, leading the league 119 walks and scoring a career high of 136 runs, second in the league. He returned to Washington for 2 years with the Washington Senators and the National League, and was traded to the Reds in December 1883, which he was united with Cominsky. Hoy later joined the Louisville Colonels, where his teammates included Honus Wagner, Fred Clark, and Tommy Leach. I'm going to repeat it again. Honus Wagner, Fred Clark, and Tommy Leach, who was his roommate. He hit .304 and .306 in his 2 seasons with the club. In 1889, he broke Mike Griffin's major league record at 1,459 games in center field. After playing with the Chicago White Sox, in the American League during the last minor league season in 1900, where Kaminsky was now the team owner. Hoy stayed with the team when the American League achieved major league status in 1901, helping them to the league's and his first pennant. In 1901, he also broke Tom Brown's record with 3,623 career outfield putouts, and led the league with 86 walks and 14 times by pitch. Hoy finished fourth in his runs at 112 on base percentage at .407, and ended his major league career with the Reds in 1902, batting .290 and breaking Brown's records of 4,461 career total chances in the outfield. He played for Los Angeles in the Pacific Coast League in 1903. In May of 1903, his last season with the Reds, he batted against pitcher Dummy Taylor of the New York Giants, and the first face-off between deaf players in the major league. Hoy got 2 hits. Hoy retired with a .288 batting average of 2,048 hits and 1,429 runs, and 725 runs batted in, and 248 doubles, 121 triples, and 40 home runs. He had 488 stolen bases, and in 1888 through 1897, and 100 more after the statistics was defined to his present meaning in 1898. His 1,795 games, and in 1829, in Major League history, Jesse Burkett broke his Major League Baseball record for the career putouts in 1905, and Clark topped his record for career total chances in 1909. His record for the games in center field was broken by Tris Speaker, Trispeaker, in 1920. In Hoy's time, the word dumb was used to describe someone who could not speak, rather than someone who was stupid. Since the ability to speak was often connected to one's intelligence, the epithets dumb and dummy became interchangeable with stupidity. Hoy often corrected individuals who addressed him as William and referred to himself as Dummy. Said to have been able to speak with a voice that resembled a squeak, he was often the most intelligent players of his time. He is sometimes credited with developing the hand signals used by umpires to this day. Although the view is widely disputed, Cy Rigler, that's C.Y. Rigler, Rigler, is to believe to created signals for balls and strikes while working in the major leagues. In November 6th, in the November 6, 1886 issue of the Sporting News, the deaf pitcher Ed Dundon is credited by using hand signals while umpiring a game in Mobile, Alabama. On October 20th, 1886, Bill Clem, Klem, is credited with introducing those signals to the major leagues in the early 20th century. No articles printed during Hoy's lifetime have been founded to support the suggestion that he influenced the creation of signals, nor did he maintain that he had such a role. Nonetheless, due to the possibility that he may have had a role in the use of signals to support the election of the Baseball Hall of Fame Corporation, the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. I'm going to repeat that again. There is a movement to support his election to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. In retirement, Hoy and his wife, Anna Maria, was also deaf, operated a dairy farm in Mount Healthy, Ohio, outside Cincinnati. Among their 6 children was Carson, an Ohio judge, and their grandson, Judson, which became a member of the Ohio House of Representatives. They raised his nephew, Paul Hoy Helms, the founder of Helms Athletic Foundation in Los Angeles. Hoy also worked as an executive for Goodyear and after supervising hundreds of deaf workers during World War II. In 1951, Hoy was the first deaf athlete elected membership of the American Athletic Association of the Deaf Hall of Fame, and at age 99, with just 2 months before his death in Cincinnati following a stroke, the Reds brought him back to Crosley Field, built on the site of his former home, to throw out the first ball in Game 3 of the 1961 World Series. He could see, if not hear, the standing ovation he received. Upon Hoy's death, that December, his remains were cremated according to the family tradition and were scattered at Little Park in Cincinnati. Upon his death in 1961 at age 99, Hoy was the longest-lived MLB player ever. In 1973, Ralph Miller broke Hoy's record by becoming the first ex-major leaguer to reach the age of 100. Although 25 league baseball players have become centenarians, with one of the 25, Silas Simmons, Silas Simmons, has become a supercentenarian, dying at the age of 111 in 2006. At the time of his death, Dummy Hoy was the last surviving participant of the American Association and Players League. In 2001, the baseball field at Gallaudet University was named William Dummy Hoy Baseball Field, and he was inducted into the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame in 2003. Hoy was inducted into the into the baseball's reliquary shrine of the Eternals in 2004. The William Dummy Hoy Classic is a baseball game held every 2 years during the Rochester, New York Deaf Awareness Week, and is contested by members of the Rochester Recreation Club of the Deaf and the Buffalo, New York Club of the Deaf at a recreated 19th century ballpark in Genesee County Village and Museum. In 2008, the documentary channel aired a biography on Dummy Hoy, a deaf hero, also known as I See the Crowd Roar. The documentary, using photographs and photographs of Hoy and actors to recreate certain events, chronicled the highlights of Hoy's life and his contributions to baseball. Hoy was portrayed by Ryan Lane. At least 3 picture books for children had been published by Silent Star. The story of published Silent Star, the story of deaf Major Leaguer William Hoy by Bill Wise in 2012. The William Hoy Story, How a Deaf Player Changed the Game by Nancy Chernin, 2016, and the little-known Heroes book, William Dummy Hoy by Cachet and Spencer Ford, in 2021. In 2019, a limited release of the Silent Natural tells the story of Hoy, who was played by Miles Barbie, who was deaf in real life. This puts an end to this edition of Gridiron Sports Talk. As always, please be educated on the things that we've spoken about today, especially about deaf people in baseball. I'm Lawrence Seiler. If you want more information on William Dummy Hoy or anything you've seen today on Gridiron Sports Talk, you can go to www.orcamedia.net. I'm Lawrence Seiler. See you next time.